This week's PARSHA, PARSHA Shemos, is a famous Rosh Tevis for the beginning of Shemos. SHMOT b'nei Yisrael bar mitzvaymo. So there's two different ways of saying this Rosh Tevis. Has Rosh Tevis in English?
Acronym.
So SHMOT b'nei Yisrael, the famous one is the Vav. Shemos is v'chayev Adam lahashlim haParsha. First is v'chayev to be mashlim the Parsha. Shnayim mikra ve'echad targum. Right, that's one of the famous one of remez in the Torah. We'll go through more Baruch soon, but there's a remez in the Torah that a person has to do Shnayim mikra, twice the psukim ve'echad targum, every week of the PARSHA Shemot. That's one remez, and the Baal Turim over here brings down even a longer remez. He says the words ve'ela Shemos b'nei Yisrael. This is what he says. Rosh Tevis v'adam asher loymed ha-seder, a person that learns the seder with the parsha. Shnayim mikra ve'echad targum. V'koil noim. Koil noim is a sweet voice. Yashir Yichya Halev Shanim Rabbis Aruchim La'olam. That's Bnei Yisrael. The answer of Eilish Mois Bnei Yisrael. That's the Rosh Tevis. Yichya Shanim Rabbis Aruchim La'olam. They'll live for many long years. Now, where's the Makar to this? Makar to Shnai Mikra V'echad Targum is a Gemara in Brachas. The Gemara in Brachas says, on the Ches, Amar of Amid La'olam Yashlim Adam Parsha Yosef V'Matzibur Shnai Mikra V'echad Targum. First, there's always been mashlim the Parshas with the Tzibur Shnai Mikra V'echad Targum. We'll go into all the halachas soon. And then the Gemara says, Shekol HaMashlim Parsha Yosef V'Matzibur. Anybody who's mashlim the Parshas with the Tzibur, Ma'arichin loy yamav u'shleisav. It's a bracha to have arichis yamim v'shanim. Now, first of all, everyone looks for a skula for arichis yamim, and there's a Gemara that gives you a very good skula for arichis yamim. The Gemara says, anybody who finishes the parsha, Shnai Mikra V'echad Targum, Arichin loy yamav u'shleisav. He has a long life. So you have a skula from the Gemara, a guaranteed school to work. Someone who finishes the Parshas Shnai Mikra V'echad Targum Marichin LaYamav. Now the lashon of the Gemara is Marichin LaYamav U'Shmeisav. So Bishlam, I understand someone's Marich as a lot of years, then I can understand. What is it Marich LaYamav U'Shmeisav? What's that? What are you giving him? A long life is one thing. What's the double lashon? Yamav, his days, and his years. What does that mean? What's the double lashon? So long years, we understand it means he lives for many years. What's days? If someone lives for a year, obviously he's going to have the days in the year. So the same pshat is, Marichin Yamav U'Shmeisav means someone can live a long life, but he doesn't accomplish much in his days. He has a long life. Taka has Marichin Yamav, but they're empty. They're not long days, they're empty days. Marichin Yamav U'Shmeisav means it's a guarantee you'll have a long life, a lot of years, and the days, every day will be a full day, will be a long day with a lot of accomplished during that day. That's the bracha Marichin Yamav U'Shmeisav. Now what does that mean? So the truth is we have to understand the makar of Shnai Mikra V'echad Targum. We all know there's a chiyuv, everyone has to go through the whole parsha. Shnai Mikra V'echad Targum. Where does it come from? And why do you have to do it? So the Gemara says it. You have to be mashlim Parsha V'Matzibur. It's a machlokes. If it's a mitzvah deraisa, only midirabanan. But the chinuch has a very interesting thing. The chinuch says in his akdama to the Sefer HaChinuch, the Sefer HaChinuch goes through every parsha, the mitzvahs of the parsha. So in the akdama to the Sefer HaChinuch he says that a person has a chiyuv to be mashlim Parsha Yosef V'Matzibur. A person has to learn Shnai Mikra V'echad Targum because he has to know what's going on in the world. A person has to know what's happening. What's happening now? Now what's happening? Yidden went to Mitzrayim. What's happening next week? The Makkah started. When a person lives that way, it's a whole different life. There's two ways a person can live. What's this week? Next week is December 25th. There's no work. And the next is New Year's. That's the way some people live their lives. How does a Jew live his life? A Jew lives his life, what's today? Today is PARSHA Shemos. What's today? What's this week? This week Didi went down to Mitzrayim. A person has to learn to live with the times, meaning not with the times of the secular times, but the Jewish times. It comes to Yom Tov, Chanukah, Sukkot, and Pesach. A person has to live with the Yom Tovim. Now it comes, same thing is with the Parshas. A person lives with the Parshas. What's this week? This week is PARSHA Shemos. This week Yidden went down to Mitzrayim. What was last week? Last week Yaakov Avinu died. That's how a person has to live his life. So if a person lives that way, it's Merichana Yomov Ushanoisav. He has full days and he has full years. Meaning he's living to the capacity of what he's supposed to accomplish in those days. What are you supposed to accomplish in your days? Obviously, Torah mitzvahs. By living the Parshas, a person is living the Torah mitzvahs his whole life. So that's why a person has to master Parshas from a tzibur shnai mikra v'achatag. Now let's go into the halachas. What does it mean? What does it mean a person has to master Parshas? So today already, we know that the Torah is split up into 52 parshas. There's a bunch of parshas, Shemos, Ve'era, Chulu v'Chulu are the parshas, and we go through the Torah once a year. It wasn't always that way. There were times, many years ago, where they went through the whole Torah once every 3 years, not once a year. Today it changed. But whatever the tzibur was doing, if the tzibur was doing once every 3 years, it made it a little bit easier. He had less to do. But if the tzibur is going through now, the tzibur goes through the parshas once a year. Every year we go through the whole Torah. Then it's a chiv and every person to be mashlim once a year. And we see in the Gemara already, the Gemara's times, there'll be mashlim parshas once a year, because the Gemara says, let's say a person wasn't Mavis Hedger, didn't do Shnai Mikra 1 week. How much time does he have to catch up? When can he catch up and be mashlim what he missed? So see, the Ikar Din is a person has to finish the Parshas before he eats the Suda Shabbos. That's what's brought down in Halacha. The main time that a person should have already finished the Shnai Mikra Ve'echat Hargim is before he starts the Suda Shabbos. It's the Makaras from the Tosfos. The Tosfos says, Gimel Dvarim Sivur Rabbeinu HaKadosh Lebanov B'Shah Shenifter Shelo Toichlu Lechem B'Shabbos. They shouldn't eat bread Shabbos morning Ad Shetigmuru Kol HaParsha, till you finish the whole Parsha. Mashma the Koydem Achila Tzarech Lashlimu. You have to finish it before you eat the Suda Shabbos in the morning. That's the main time to finish it.
That means the reading of the Shabbos reading is, let's say, if it was divided into 3 years, would you be accomplishing 1/3 of what we call PARSHA today?
Yeah.
During that time. Okay.
At that time, but today everyone does it already once a year.
Right.
Well, in the Gemara, so in times of the Gemara, everyone was doing it once a year. So the main thing is to finish it before the Suda. Now, this is the Mechaber Mitzvah min HaMofcha sheyashlam oisa. Oh, we'll see in a second. There could be Yetzer with the one day laying in Shul. Mitzvah min HaMofcha sheyashlam oisa koidim sheyechel b'Shabbos v'im lo yishlam koidim achila yashlam acher achila at mincha. If you didn't finish it before the achila, you could finish it till mincha. Now, the truth is, the Ikar Hadin is really to finish it till mincha. Why? What does it mean that tzibur is laying in the parsha? When's the tzibur laying in the parsha? The tzibur starts mincha by Shabbos. We start already the next week's sedra. So then we're ready by the next parsha. So Ima tzibur means when the tzibur is laying this week's parsha. So Parsha Shemos we started laying last week by mincha, We have till this week Mincha when we go to the next Parsha, Parshas Va'era. So that's the main din is while the tzibur is laying. So why does it say before you eat the Suda Shachris you should have finished already? So Allah has brought down there, Mr. Brewer says, because we were worried the reason why we said to do it before Achila, one second. Oh, here it is. Says the Baruch. If you don't do it before Achila, you do it after you eat. And that's the Lechatchila. So why did Rabbi say you should be mashlim before you eat? First is he was worried. First is going to have a long Suda, especially in the short Shabbosim like these weeks. After the Suda, it's hard to learn. So if we had them a few minutes, and you barely make it back, you barely get up in time for Mincha. So therefore, Rabbi said, make sure you finish it before the Suda. That's the reason why. Chayish.
Because you won't finish it after.
Because you won't finish it afterwards. So if that's the reason why, so there'll be a big nafkamina. Because in the summer, after you daven, after taking a nap, there's plenty of time to finish b'mashal the parsha afterwards. So maybe you could do it afterwards, after the Suda. Now let's say a person waits till Shabbos to do the Shnai Mikveh V'Chatager. Now in the winter, so Friday night after the Suda, there's plenty of time to do it. He's tired, he goes to sleep early, let's say, right after the Suda, but how much can a person sleep already? So usually if a person goes to sleep Shabbos...
We can sleep.
I got teenage boys.
We saved the bagels for lunch on there. So usually if you go to sleep early after the Suda, to get up before Shachris, an hour before Shachris, the Bible says not so hard. So in the winter, when you can't do it practically, it's not going to happen after the Suda Shachris. Definitely someone should try to be makbid to finish it before the Suda Shachris, whether it's Friday night. I always said the best time to be Mavis Sedra is Friday night after the Suda. Why? Because you have to Shnai Mikra. And Friday night after the Suda, you see double. Best time to do it. See double. But so that means if the Ikra din would be to finish it before Shachris, that would be the main din. So I would say even in the summer, a person should make sure he finishes before the Suda Shachris. But we see that Allah, the Mishnah Berurah says, the main din is to finish it by Mincha. If you don't finish it by Mincha, the main thing by Mincha, why do we say by the Suda? Because you should make sure, because after the Suda it's very hard to finish it, and people don't end up doing it. That's only in the winter. In the summer, where there's plenty of time after the Suda, and it's harder to do it beforehand, because Friday night is very late, and they go to sleep late. They're not getting up before Shabbos anyway. So, and the reason why I'm saying that is because there's two ways to be Mavis Sedra, not making Rechatah.
By the way, this is also before electricity.
Before electricity, yeah.
You were going to go to bed earlier.
But anyway, but the reason why I'm saying that is because a lot of times people try to push themselves. It says they have to do before Shachris, before the Suda. So this, in the winter, it's fine, it's easier. In the summer, you have two types of people. Some people will they have to finish it earlier, so they'll do it quickly. No idea what they're saying. I gotta get it done, so they'll do it quickly. Daven it up, right? And so therefore, a person knows after the Suda there's plenty of time for Mincha. He'll be more Yishav Adas. And if be able to do it better, it's better you should do it then. Because then he'll do it better. Then you have other people who are very makbid to do it before the Suda, so they'll come after davening, and they'll keep the family waiting for an hour until they finish being Mavis Sedra, Shnai Mikveh V'Chatagim, and it's also not a Lechatchila. Because if you end the Shcheshbin, if someone else's Cheshbin, you don't do mitzvahs. You don't do mitzvahs someone else's Cheshbin. And your Cheshbin, you can do mitzvahs. But if you come after Shachris, and no family is waiting to eat, and you sit down to Imam Sedra, and everyone's waiting for you to Imam Sedra, probably don't do. Of course, if everybody's still sleeping and they're not ready, it's better. But if that's why I say if in the summer it's hard to do it Friday night, Shabbos morning it's okay. You do Shabbos after the Suda.
speaking a little bit like it's a done deal that you do it all at once, but isn't it a good idea to do it bit by bit over the course of the week?
We'll get to that. This is all I'm saying. A person leaves it for Shabbos.
Yeah, right.
This is all people leave it for Shabbos.
I would think you might be leaving the very end of it, the last time or the last.
Yeah, but the truth is, if a person could do it during the week, and he can do a little bit every day, this is what we started off saying. A person lives the Parsha. That means if every day a person knows there's a Achrayas, Chiv, let me do part of the Parsha a little bit every day. So every day he's doing some of the Parsha. We'll see soon. It's better to do with Rashi also. So then by the time we come to Shabbos, not so much. To leave the whole Parsha with the Rashi and the Targum for Shabbos, to me and you, it doesn't usually happen. Especially when you get the Parsha from Shmotim, when you get to the long, hard Parshas, it doesn't happen. Gracious, maybe you'll get through, because the first week. But then when you get later on, it's very hard to do it. So it's definitely better to do it. Even if a person's going to do just Chumash Rashi every day, that Aliyah, at least that much he'll accomplish. You'll get on Shabbos. But if you could do the Rashi, we'll see soon that it's maybe the Chatchil to do Rashi, it's good to do it during the week a little bit every day during the week.
The Rashi counts as a targum?
Oh, we'll get to that in a second. See if Rashi counts as a targum. so that is. Oh, so how do we get to this? Yeah, we're sidetracked. So, a person didn't do Mincha, he could do it till Yom Revi'i b'Shabbos. The first 3 days of the week are so like it attached to Shabbos. So a person couldn't finish it on Shabbos. He was busy, he was making a simcha, whatever it was, he didn't get to do it. So through Tuesday, you're okay. Wednesday already is tied to the next Shabbos. So that's the next darga, the next category is make sure you do it before Wednesday. You didn't do it on Shabbos, finish it by Tuesday. Wednesday is already, as they say in the Yom of Wednesday, we say Kel Nekamas Hashem, Kel Nekamas Afiyah. We end off with the Chun Ranana. Chun Ranana has no shaykhis to that capital of Tehillim. It's the beginning of the next capital.
Wake up call.
Right? That's it. The Chun Ranana has no shaykhis. The capital of Tehillim ends before the Chun Ranana. Say the Chun Ranana Wednesday, we're saying they're already preparing for Shabbos. So, but if someone doesn't do it then, so then the Gemara says he can finish it till when? All the way till the Tzibur finishes the Torah, which is when? Shmini Atzeres, Simchas Torah Bayos. That's when he can finish it. So it says over here, Bibi Barabai is Savalash Laminun the Parsha Yosei the Kula Shaita from the whole year. Wanted to catch up. When was he doing it? The Mala Yom the Kippuri. Every Yom Kippur he was sitting there, he was trying to catch up. Someone told me he was in the summer, he was by a certain Rav in the mountains. And I came to speak to him. And the Rav was in the middle of Pasha's Moyach. Catching up. Still catching up. So what are you doing? He said, I'm still fell behind a little bit. I'm trying to catch up. I guess he used his summers when it was quiet to catch up. But the Rabbi Barabaya did it. The Mala Yom Kippur and Erev Yom Kippur. So they said to him, no, Erev Yom Kippur you don't do it, because Erev Yom Kippur you have to eat. That's the time you have to eat. If you're going to try to finish Nine Mikra Merchatagim from the whole year on Erev Yom Kippur, you're not going to have time to eat. So don't do it then. If someone has time after Yom Kippur, wherever it is, a different time, till the Tzibur makes a siyum on the day of Baruch with the Simchas Torah Bayos, till then you can catch up.
Now I know why people stay up late on Hashan Rabbi.
They stay the whole night. Yeah. It's true, it's called Mishnah Torah.
Yeah.
Mishnah Torah, they lay the whole Dvarim. So you could do it till the end of the Bracha till Simchas Torah. Once the Tzibur lane starts Bereshis, finished. That year is gone. That year is gone. It's finished. Now you start fresh. And try to get the next year. But of course, by the time Simchas Torah comes, we're going to finish this year. I'll be ready to start next year. Right?
Sure.
So we see from this Gemara that even in times of the Gemara they were ready to be mashlim the Parsha once a year. Not once every 3 years, once a year they were mashlim the Parsha, and therefore we have to try to do it the way it was done at times of the Gemara. One Parsha, the way that we had the Parsha set up, Shemos, Rabbi, B'Shalach, whoever set them up, but they were set up by Chazal. The other thing that people make a mistake. I heard this before. That the Parsha that we learn, right? We learn Shemos, Eira. So some people say, yeah, we live with the time of the Parsha. This week is Parsha Shemos. I wanted someone saying that no. We have to finish the Torah once a year. You could do it however you want to do it. You could do it. Shemos, Ve'era, Boy, B'Shalach. Let's say you do 4 parshas in 1 week. It's fine as long as you finish it once a year. And what was his proof? His proof was that in the times of Chazal, they did it once every 3 years. I was once in a shul, and they were learning Parshas Baruch. Then the Parshas Baruch and to Vahiyah Mesa B'Magefa above Esrim Elef. So the Mesa in the Magefa was 24,000. So I was once in a shul, and the Makar is learning. He says Vahiyah Mesa B'Magefa above Esrim Elef. It's going on. I said, "What was hello? Parshas over. Ignore me." And he went on. Then like a few psukim, then he stopped. So I went over to him after I said, "Excuse me, sir, but I think the parsha ended." He says, "No, the parsha ends with Davar Lo Toiv. Here, Mason, when I gave her born for SM Elef. I don't like to end the parsha with Davar Lo Toiv. So I went to Parshas Pinchas." So he tells me. I said, "This is your own decision?" He says, "No, his Rabbi told him that." "Who's your Rabbi?" He told me your name. I had no idea who it was. I said, "But the parsha ends over here. I mean, Chazal made the parsha end here. You think you're smarter than Chazal? Chazal knew that it says here Meishim and Magefa are born for Eshem Melech." So he told me this svara. It doesn't make a difference when you end the parsha, because you see in times of Chazal they ended it once every 3 years. So it doesn't make a difference which. So I said, okay, so you could decide to learn today Parshas Shemos and Ve'era, and then the next week just learn part of Parshas Boy because you need a break. So the Tzibur will decide we'll learn this week Shemos and Ve'era and more time this week. Next week is Simcha and Shul. We don't want to have too many aliyahs, so we're going to make it a very small parsha. He says, yeah, you could do that. That's what the guy tells me. So what's the raya you can't do that? The raya is because the whole simon in Shulchan Aruch, I think it's Simcha Flamet Hay, that if there's a tzibur that 1 week got into a fight. They're talking about a tzibur that lived in a little town, they had one Bal Korah, or they had one person who owned the Torah. And they got into a fight. Either the guy who owned the Torah says, you know what, if you're not going to do what I want, you can't use my Sefer Torah this week. Or the Bal Korah says, listen, if you're not going to do what I want, I'm not letting you this week, forget about it. And it was cancelled that week. They didn't have a Sefer Torah, didn't have Bal Korah, didn't lay 1 week. The halacha is the next week you learn 2 parshas. When they made shalom, if they made peace, you learn 2 parshas the following week.
I think isn't that the halacha if you have a Sefer Torah and you find that it's possible at the beginning of the reading?
No,
you only have 1 Sefer Torah?
No, you learn the next week. Yeah, same thing.
Yeah.
If you have a Sefer Torah and it's possible, so you can't learn that week, but the next week you learn 2 parshas, same thing. Yeah, it happens to be the halacha was talking about a place we got into a fight, I don't know why. Saying there's a better case. So, but how about if they didn't get to terms, they didn't come to terms for 3 weeks? They already passed Parshas Shemos, Parshas Ve'era, and they held the Parshas Boy. And now they came to terms. Could you learn Parshas Shemos, Ve'era, and Boy now, all together in 1 week? So Allah says you can't. You can't, not Sechel Tzibura, no? Matas Masa, is that Sechel Tzibura? Right, you have it's 3 small parshas. It's up Vayelech Chazinu. The halacha is you can't. Why? Because you can only be mashlim, you can only learn 2 parshas in 1 week. You're never allowed to learn more than 2 parshas in 1 week. That's what the halacha says. You can't learn more than 2 parshas in 1 week. So where's the negaya the Shaila? The Shaila is very negaya when you have people who go from Chutz La'aretz to Eretz Yisrael. After Pesach, to Pesach and Shavuos, when the parshas are off. So a lot of times you learn SHMOS, Kedoshim, 2 parshas together. It comes a lot of times after Pesach. So let's say in Chutz La'aretz they're learning SHMOS Kedoshim 1 week, and you missed that week. You went to Eretz Yisrael that week, and Eretz Yisrael they're learning already Kedoshim. So the what you want to do? You want to make a minyan, which happens a lot of times. It happened to me once when I was in Eretz Yisrael. I was in Pesach, I was in Chutz La'aretz. The Shabbos right after Pesach, I think I was still in Chutz La'aretz, and the next week, I think it was Achar Moitz Kedoshim or something. So the question was, we should learn Achar Moitz Kedoshim Emor. Make a Chutz La'aretz minyan and make up the parshas, and learn 3 parshas together. We couldn't do it. You can't learn 3 parshas, Achar Moitz Kedoshim Emor. You're not allowed to learn 3 parshas together. The most you can learn is 2 parshas. You see from this halacha that every single parsha of the week that's kavua is not just been picked. Okay, we'll stop here, we'll stop there, we'll do this, we'll do that. It's not the way. Everything has its place. Everything has a cheshbon why it was put that way. Parsha Shemos and Ve'era were not put together for a reason. Don't go ahead and put them together for no reason.
The calendar really is built around the Tochacha, is my understanding. That they both have to fall at a certain time. When they were reading it over 3 years,
it's a good question.
What happened?
It's a good question. They're trying to speak about it. They're trying to speak about it. It says Tochacha had to be the Shabbos before the Shabbos of Rosh Hashanah.
2 weeks before Rosh Hashanah.
2 weeks before Rosh Hashanah. 2 weeks before Shavuos. So we have a middle always before Shavuos. So the question is related once every 3 years. How to work? They're trying to speak about that. So you see that the parshas have a significance. That was haphazardly put. Shemos stops here, and Ve'era starts here, and Boy starts here. It was done with the cheshbon. Every parsha was done with the cheshbon. Therefore, a person has to try to make sure this week's parsha is Parsha Shemos. That if I'm doing next week's parsha of Ve'era, and I'm catching up with Shemos, it's not like stop that, okay, I'm doing 2 parshas and it's not a problem. I'm learning up 2 blocks Gemara. I missed Afyemi one day, so I'm catching up the next day. It's not the same thing. It's not the same thing. Parsha Shemos and Parsha Ve'era. This week is Parsha Shemos. Next week is Parsha Ve'era. If you missed it and you're catching up, you are catching up on the old thing, which is not really this week. That's why it's kedai for everybody to make sure they finish the parsha on Shabbos. Don't rely that next week I have more time. I'm going on vacation, and I have a whole day to go through the parsha. Let me do it next week. The person should know that's only a b'diavad. It's not a lechatchila. It's not a lechatchila. It's not like Tafiyemi that you missed one block and you can make it up the next day. The same thing when I'm 2 block one day and I missed the other block the day before. It's not the same thing. Parshas is bedafka, the parsha of that week. Now this is all when you learn. What do you learn? So the main thing is it says Shnayim Mikra V'Chatagim. But it says also that a person should do Rashi. Why? Because Targum, we don't understand the Targum. Most of us don't know what we know what Targum means is because we look at the pasuk, we know the Targum in the pasuk. Then we look at the Targum, we know what the Targum means. It used to be Targum that helped them explain the pasuk. But now it's the opposite. The pasuk helps us explain the Targum. So when a person does the pasuk, he's supposed to do with the pirish that he understands. So that's why maybe the chatchil it's better to do Rashi.
What about English?
So we'll get to English in a second. So it says like this. The Mechaber says, person has a mashlim im lamad haparsha b'pirish Rashi choshev k'may Targum v'yir shemayim yikra Targum v'gam pirish Rashi. A yir shemayim try to do both Targum and Rashi. And what's the reason for it? He says because the Rashi explains things that the pasuk doesn't. So Mefarish the Mikra, which Mefarish the Targum, v'yesim menu. Rashi even explains more than the Targum. Now, Aval Imkara B'Shar Laz, if you learn the parsha with other translations, Art Scroll, English, right? So Mefarish Rakas and Milash Lechud, he just explains the words, nothing more than that. Lo Yatsa Yidei Chavasai B'Mokram Targum. You're not Yisichiv B'Mokram Targum. So a person learns Shnai Mikra. He does the pasuk twice with the Art Scroll Taich. It's very important to know the Taich of the Psukim. But you're not Yitza the Targum, because Targum, it says the mile of Targum is it was given in Sinai. So even if you don't understand Targum, it's still called you did Targum, you did something. And Rashi has a mile that explains more than just the pasuk itself.
This is B'dafka Targum Unclus, not somebody else.
No, Dafka Targum Unclus. Dafka Targum Unclus. So therefore, if you want to lay the Shnai Mikra and do English Taich, it's very important to do the English Taich. And maybe if you do the Pasukim without the English Taich, you have no idea what you're talking about. It could be Naim Yaitza. But you have to still do Targum afterwards, or do the Rashis. If you do the Rashis in English, then you're fully on. Yeah. If you do the Rashis in English, because you did the Rashis, he explained to you everything that was in the Pasuk more than the Targum.
What if there's no Rashi on the pasuk?
It's fine, there's no Rashi, no more explanation there. You do the
Then
Targum.
shouldn't you do it?
Then you do the Targum. Then you read the Targum.
That's why you figure like they say do both because
Right.
Yeah, there
many
may be-
psukim they don't
Right.
have
So the main psukim they have no Rashi, the main psukim they have no Targum. But names have no Targum. Parsha sometimes explains all the names. That's why it's better to do both. It's hard. I'm saying it's easy. Not easy to get in both. Someone has a choice between Targum or Rashi. If he could do all the Rashis, he's probably better off with Rashi, because you get more, especially today, we don't understand the Targum, so there's more explanation. But there's still a mile of Targum. Targum was given me Sinai, so it's good to do the Targum. Yeah. So it's interesting. He brings down over here. The Mr. Baruch brings down not just Rashi, any other thing that explains more than just the Taich of the pasuk. So if someone has the art scrolls with they have not just the Taich words, they have also some explanations on the bottom. So he says, "Mish eni bar hachi sheyaven es pish Rashi, roy likras beferish atayr sheif b'loshen Ashkenaz, b'zmanenu kigoyin sefer Tzenorena." If any of you remember that, but there used to be a sefer called Tzenorena.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was meant for women.
version.
It's, yeah.
The English version of
It's in
Tzenorena?
English, yeah.
Oh yeah?
It's in
It's in
pink.
English. It was in Yiddish.
It's in
Oh, yeah?
pink.
It's a pink?
Yeah.
Okay,
It's a pink
Tzenorena
book,
used to be,
Yeah,
It's a great book.
Tzenorena was written in Yiddish originally, for those people who couldn't read Rashi, and didn't understand. And it was a Pirush added, not just the Taich, it added also explanations. Pas came from Rashi, Medrashis, that was the Tzenorena. So if someone's going to read today, the Art Scroll, not just the Taich, but with the bottom of it that it explains the Psukim, that being a Rashi or Rambam, that's just like the Tzenorena. And they can be into that, could they Pirush Rashi?
Yeah.
How important is this vis-a-vis other learning? I mean, you have so much time during the
Right. It's a very good question, but
because we don't put much emphasis on this. We put
I know.
much more emphasis on Daf Yomi. and-
right, but honestly, I think it's a mistake. I think it's a mistake because Shleim Mikveh Echad Targum is a chiyuv, and that is a Marichal Yam Rav Shloisov. Someone has a choice to do Daf Yomi. Okay, the truth is, Daf Yomi takes much more time than Shleim Mikveh Echad Targum. But a person should set aside time every day a little bit. If you ask me a question, I have a choice. I can either do Chumash Rashi every week, or I can learn Gemara. It's maybe better to do Chumash Rashi.